Thank you for that nice introduction. And good morning, everyone, and welcome to Redeye's webinar, Lifecycle Marketing, Volume 1, Best Practice Guide for Acquiring New Subscribers. My name is Brian McConnell. I'm president of Redeye, Inc., and today I'm joined by our business development team, Sue Glockner, Bill McGowan, and Shannon Smith. In today's webinar, we will focus on the acquisition phase of life cycle marketing. So let's get started. Email has cemented itself into the armory of the 21st century marketer. Its power to pull visitors to your website, deliver engaging content, and drive revenue has made it a core part of the online marketing plan. The previous lack of attention to email marketing has faded, and more marketers are looking into how email can be used across the customer lifecycle. The effect of focusing budget on the email channel has fueled the realization that not all email addresses are equal. It's not good enough anymore to measure the total list size and use this as a key performance indicator, KPI. Some email addresses are worth more than others, and it is the most recently collected and the most highly engaged that are worth the most money. The collection of new email addresses is a vital process to secure growth in any email database. Studies have suggested 30% of users in your database will change their email addresses within a 12-month period, making the address you have invalid. If this sounds high, consider why most email databases contain more than 50% of recipients that have not opened an email in the last 12 months. In addition to this, some users will unsubscribe and others will become inactive. So to maintain email list performance, you need to continue to find new data. Additionally, if you wish to grow the value of your list, email address acquisition will be a key part of your strategy. The simple fact is, without an email address, you are unable to engage with customers using the most effective digital media to date. Success in email marketing is directly linked to the size of your active lists, those recipients engaging with you via email. So having a strategy to effectively grow your email list is essential to maintaining growth in your online business. The most engaged email addresses, which will provide you with the best future value, are the ones that you obtain yourself. For email marketing, the life cycle covers 5 main stages: acquire, convert, develop, retain, and reactivation. This webinar will focus on acquire, where to find effective email addresses, how to effectively encourage users to register for mailings, and how to collect the right data with the right permission. Now Sue Glockner will reveal where to find email addresses.
The source of your data is key to its value. Users already engaged with your brand through another form of marketing are much more likely to be interested in subscribing to email. The first port of call, therefore, is to look at your customer touchpoints. It's important to start by auditing the customer touchpoints and identifying all the places and situations where the customer interacts with your brand. Here are some examples of customer touchpoints. This list is not all-inclusive, but should give you a good start. Let's look at each one individually. Facebook is a great way to obtain email addresses. Visitors to your Facebook page can be prompted to go to your website to register or to fill out a form on your Facebook page, registering them for your marketing emails. Twitter. As soon as someone starts to follow you, send them a message to welcome them as a follower and use this to promote email registration. This will increase engagement. Apps. If your business has an app as part of the service or product offered to the customer, adding an email address box in the download section will provide you with extra email address data. Offline and print media is another fantastic opportunity to promote your email marketing communications. Advertisements in publications, direct mail, and display all provide an excellent platform for your data capture. This can be done using a URL or by creating a QR code to allow mobile users to sign up directly from their mobile devices. Another great channel to obtain email addresses is SMS. You could provide a push message asking the recipient to enter their email address to sign up to the newsletter, or run a SMS competition or promotion which requires a valid email address to enter. This method is often successfully used at events where public broadcast systems, visual and audio, encourage users to text in. With the advent of mobile devices that display email in a usable way, the opportunity to interact with visitors at events via email has become possible. This will allow you not only to engage with visitors directly at the event, but also to continue the dialogue once the event is over. Browsing visitors have potential value. Therefore, the first email conversion rate on your website is the one that takes a browser and converts it into a contactable user. Make your sign-up process prominent on all your website pages. Many websites have a registration process, either before or during the processing of a transaction. Ensure when providing details in this process, the customer is encouraged to add their email address. And remember, don't forget the guest checkout. It's easy to add an optional email address capture, even if the customer doesn't want to fully register as a user. Just because the customer doesn't want to open an account doesn't mean they won't want to give you their email address. Often overlooked as an online and offline data capture opportunity, the process of product registration can provide another method of gaining extra email addresses. This is a good point to capture an email address because the customer is already positively engaged with you, therefore more likely to offer their email address. Email is also a good way to communicate updates or information about the registered product. This will add value to the email sign-up and make it more likely that they will freely give their email address in the future. Genuine email addresses of prospects and customers are a valuable asset to all retail businesses who operate in the offline as well as the online arena. Many businesses already have a healthy and profitable email database, but all businesses must develop their email databases in order to grow and extend their reach in the marketplace. Now I'd like to introduce my colleague, Bill McGowan.
Thank you, Sue. Identifying the touch points to obtain email addresses is just the start of the process. The next thing you have to do is convince the customer to part with their email address and contact details. To entice the visitor to share their email address, you must ensure that you're following these best practice guidelines. Any sign-up box must be easy to spot. On every single page, the user should be presented with a link to start the process. You don't necessarily need to mention emails, newsletters, sign-ups, or anything like that in this stage. Just a key benefit statement such as "Don't miss out on all the latest news and offers." This should be presented prominently and linked straight through to the data capture webpage. Getting the user onto the data capture website is only half the battle. You now need to sell them on the idea of signing up. The best way of doing this is giving the customer a view of what they are going to receive in the future. You can do this by including images of previous emails in the data capture process. This will allow them to recognize future communications, setting the expectations, and reducing the accidental spam complaints. If users do not recognize the first email you send them, they're more likely to unsubscribe or complain. The first email you sent to the registrant can be viewed as the first part of a dialogue between your brand and the user. Therefore, the giving of an email address becomes an agreement to participate in a conversation. You need to have a compelling reason why they should accept your email to an already busy inbox. To do this, consider the main unique selling proposition your email newsletter has to offer. Points to consider when selling the value of email registration. What elements of your brand, product, or service can be communicated without too much repetition and in a way that adds value. What are people likely to value most from your email communication? Web-based research might be a good place to start. Can you deliver some sort of free service that is related to your main offering? For example, a weekend weather forecast for an outdoor clothing retailer might be a good place to start. Are there times when an email alert could be seen as valuable to the recipient? For example, notification of a sale in the user's local store. Deliver relevance to the recipients. These are examples of relevant communications your recipients can receive. Shannon will now take you through the different types of communication that are available.
Broadly speaking, whatever your values are, the types of communications you will be sending will fall into the following categories: regular news that would affect them as a current or future customer, product or service updates detailing new feature and benefits, access to special offers and deals exclusively for email accounts, account updates that inform them of the state of their account. Your emails may fit into one of the above categories or a combination. The important element here is that all communication must reflect the needs of the customer and certainly reflect the expectations you set upon them. Once you have decided why users should sign up, and you would be amazed how many companies don't consider this, you are in a position to construct statements that reflect the value of email sign-up. The closer your message can get to the likely motivations of your potential registrant, the more likely users are to subscribe. Email sign-up processes that neither sell the value nor set expectations will most likely sign up recipients that are curious and ill-informed. Needless to say, you will then have some people on your email list that don't want to be there. After considering what the content of the principal message needs to be, you then need to craft your benefit statement. It doesn't need to be complex. It could be as easy as one of the following examples. We know you love special offers and the cheapest deals around. Be the first to hear about the latest ones. Subscribe to our emails now. Or something like, we regularly obtain breaking news and product information that you may find interesting based on the publication you have chosen. Subscribe to our email bulletin to hear the latest news. Your opening benefit statement is only the start of the data capture process. Once you have gotten attention, you need to back up interest with detail on the value you will be giving registrants. As with the key benefit statement, you need to go back to the work you did earlier in identifying the points of value to the recipient in order to decide what extra information you need to provide to sell the registration. Examples of information feature on your sign-up page that will promote the value of a registration. Tangible benefits the recipient will receive via the email program. This includes any immediate benefit, such as your first newsletter containing a special offer. Examples of savings made or value experienced by previous newsletter recipients. Recipient-friendly features to enable the user to manage their registration easily, and state how you use and protect data. This should be linked to your privacy policy page. And back to you, Sue.
As with anything in direct marketing, testing is key to ensure you are capturing the maximum value from the sign-up process. And remember, it's more about value than overall volume. It's important to compare the overall responses when testing the sign-up process. Ideally, measure success of differing statements against sales or downloads or some other sort of ROI-related key performance indicator. Here are some examples of best practice sign-up forms. The data you collect about your users is vital to how effective your email communication will be, but requesting too much information can be off-putting. In addition to this, with the new regulations on cookies being released, how you use data in regards to user security is becoming vitally important. The last section provides some best practice guidelines to obtaining the right data that will be valuable to your business. To obtain the greatest value from data capture, the first stage of any sign-up or transactional process will generally be first name, last name, email address, permission statement, and opt-in or opt-out. As your relationship with the customer grows, so will trust, and the amount of the data the customer is willing to share with you will increase. Once they submit this, you have the means to communicate with them in the future, even if they don't go on to complete registration or a sales transaction. This allows the use of basket abandonment emails, which are important to ensure your basket conversion is optimized. It also allows you to communicate further, even if they don't purchase in the near future. Obtaining the correct permission at the first opportunity not only makes your emails legal, but provides you with the best way to grow your list. In any data capture process, it's important to let the customer know how you intend to use the data and how you intend to keep it safe. The more transparent you are about the data's use, and the easier it is for the customer to find this out, the more signups you will get. Trust and disclosure are two of the most important things to potential registrants if they are not yet a customer.
Mistakes can be made in the data capture process, and regardless of how many field rules are put in place, a spelling mistake will create an invalid email address. Designing the process so that email address needs to be entered twice will certainly reduce this common fault in data capture. Many people have 2 or more email addresses, so it's a good idea to obtain different or secondary email addresses, again entering them twice to confirm the spelling. This will mean that you'll have another point of contact should the primary email address stop working. However, some people may not willingly give a second email address, so ensure this field is clearly marked as optional. Gaining email permission early is very important. Without someone's email address and their permission, you can't market to them. Gaining the email permission early will allow you to follow up with an email if the customer fails to complete the process. This effectively gives you more of a chance to build the relationship that makes sales. Without permission, you can't do that. There are a number of rules that surround gaining permission, which depend on the situation. You will need to ensure your permission process is legal as well as make the most of the data capture process. The conversion rate between email address capture and permission to market is an important one. It's not good to have a lot of emails on your database without the permission to market to them. There is also a big difference between volumes of email addresses captured depending on the permission process used. Volumes can reduce by as much as 2/3 when going from a pre-selected permission option to a process that requires the recipient to positively opt in. There is also a reduction when the process involves the recipient clicking on a confirmation link sent via email. The trade-off you make when choosing which opt-in process to use is one of quality. If someone has ticked the box on your website and then further clicked on the confirmation link of an email, then they really want to be on your list. Therefore, you're likely to get a very good open rate from this individual as well as click-through rates, but lower volumes of data overall. There's a strong link between the transparency of what the email address will be used for and the willingness of the recipient to give permission. The more information you can give the recipient on what they are going to receive, and the more that you can sell them on the value of your email program, the more people you will get to sign up. Regulations about how you use tracking your emails are enforced. They require that some sort of consent is required to use various sorts of tracking technology. The Direct Marketing Association has produced some guidelines to help marketers decide the best ways to approach this consent, and Redeye would recommend the DMA for guidance.
Thanks, Bill. I just want to reiterate what a great source the DMA can be. Hotel Chocolat, a popular global brand, wanted to find an effective way to grow an engaged and profitable email database without compromising their valuable existing email registrants. The company implemented a multi-channel campaign integrating online registration with in-store customers, as well as producing a refer a friend email registration campaign. So the in-store email capture. Redeye created a custom microsite, which was available in all Hotel Chocolat bricks and mortar stores, so customers and prospects could sign up and receive emails and register their preferred local store. The registration generated an immediate behavioral email, the first of a 4-week behavioral email program designed to further introduce the brand engage the prospect, and ultimately convert the users into an online customer. We then looked at a refer a friend behavioral email campaign. Hotel Chocolat and Redeye devised a strategy which combined a behavioral email solution with a refer a friend framework. The campaign allowed registrants to refer friends via a microsite and then receive a sales voucher in return. All newly subscribed users received a specifically devised welcome program to introduce the brand and engage the prospect with product offers. And the results. Both campaigns proved to be a great success. Not only did Hotel Chocolat greatly increase its active email base, but also generated a large amount of incremental revenue from the new registrants.
Without an email address, there is no email marketing. But how you obtain your data and build your list is key to the success of your email marketing program. The most effective email campaigns rely on actively engaged data. So when building an email list, it is quality, not quantity, that matters. The highest quality data comes from users already aware of your brand and engaging with it. Think about where you will find these customers and find ways to make email registration an attractive option. The more honest you can be about what email registrants will receive and how their data will be used, the more likely you are to increase registration with actively engaged users. However, highly successful email marketing isn't just about data capture. A newly signed up recipient has committed themselves to a dialogue. Now, granted, we must acknowledge it will mostly be one way. And here's the point, where you can make or break your email relationship. It is vitally important that the expectations you set when the email address was first given to you are met by the communications you now send. Acquiring an email address is just the start of the story. The true payback for the efforts put into the process so far can only be realized by the conversion of the email address into a new customer or a repeat customer and beyond.